Hey everybody, since I can't be there training, I wanted to put together this video. This is an episode of my podcast that'll be coming out in like week and a half, but it's so good and the guy has made people millions by doing exactly what we're doing, where we're tracking our data and making sure that we know what our inputs are so that we know how we can shift what we're doing at work to make sure everybody makes so much money, to make sure that everybody knows how to train their new people, to make sure that we know where we're wasting time and where we can save time so that you guys can work less and make more. And so we can be super successful together. So have a great time watching this. This is my friend Dan Watkins. He was one of the original guys at Qualtrics. And he actually even gets into a war with this guy to keep his job where he's just saying, hey, let's let the data tell us who's winning. And he follows the data and he sees what works and what doesn't. And he just does the things that works so that he can save his job. So enjoy this. Understand what that means to make data-based decisions and how it can affect and change your world.
Yeah, so I'll give a shameless plug into one of the companies that I own. It's called Database. And the idea is this. When I went and took a look at like who really succeeds, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's in a nonprofit, doesn't really matter who's succeeding. And like, what are the factors that go into that? And there's really three components, in my opinion, to a human being on any goal that they want to achieve. How hard are they working? So what is the force of the momentum that they bring to it? So work ethic, and what are the inputs they're putting into that goal?
Cool.
The outcome is the third part that everybody pays attention to. That's also important. So first you have inputs to get to that output. But what most people forget about is there's a lot of skill that it takes to achieve a goal that's worthwhile. Yeah. You're in sales. You need to go and get on the phone. You need to reach out on social media through LinkedIn. You need to send emails. There's your inputs. You also need to craft your message. You need to use the right cadence. You need to go in and be able to overcome objections. There's some skills. You combine enough inputs, you constantly hone your skills, you'll achieve your outcome. And I believe that in any part of life. So what I try to do is if somebody comes to me and they're like, Dan, I'm trying to get thin. Okay, well, I can tell them I've lost about 15 pounds over the last 2 years, slowly, not because I didn't want to lose it all right away. I wanted to lose it in a way that was sustainable for me. Here are the inputs I put in. Here are the things I had to get better at. Here's the outcome it's had for me. I've in my adult life never weighed less. Or you want to be better in sales, or you want to be a better engineer, or you want to be a better friend. That's how I try to break it down. Inputs, skills to get to the output. 100%. And there's a really cool book, Peak by Anders Ericsson, that talks about through these things, anybody that wants to can become the best in the world at anything. Now it's going to take a ton of inputs, but it requires what you just said. Most people undervalue how important mentors are in their life. Somebody else has already figured out how to get to the next 3 steps that you want to get to. Right. Go find those people. Ask them, what are the hacks that got you? I'm only here. And so anyway, Anders Ericsson basically says, if you'll put in the inputs, you consciously choose, you actually care enough about that goal, and you use mentors along the way, you get there. He calls it deliberate practice, one of my favorite books on the planet. So if you just look at me, you would never think this guy could go and lead a sales organization that has an $8 billion outcome with SAP. You would think just another person. Well, what if I could go and be with a company that helps people make data-driven decisions? What if I could run a revenue organization where all decisions were based on data? Right. You were promoted based on data, not based on how good of friends you were with me.
Right.
You were trained. What skills were we working on based on data? And so Qualtrics ended up being one of the toughest and one of the best parts of my life. Is I was at the company for about 7 months, and the CEO's like, Dan, we're hiring a head of sales. I was like, what are you talking about? That's me.
Yeah.
And I was pissed. I was 22 years old. I had the job that I wanted. I thought I had the title that I wanted. And now they're going to go do what every other company out there was doing. As soon as the young people start succeeding, you hire the old person to kind of come in and lead everything and take over. And I went to Ryan. I was like, Ryan, how about this? What if we let data make the decision? Go hire this person.
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to learn from them. What if you give them half my team? I get the other half. They can pick which half they want. And if I do as well or better, maybe I should still stay reporting to you. He's thinking, okay, awesome. I've got an amazing opportunity to humble this 22-year-old.
Right.
And I'm thinking I've got a shot now. And so I started really getting into, so he took the team that was actually succeeding. So he took the half of the team that had already been at the company.
Right.
I get a guy named Lucas Baker, who currently leads North America for Qualtrics today. His only sales experience was painting.
Right.
So none. I got a guy named Taylor Safford, who's VP of sales at TaxBit today, whose only job experience was being a maintenance man for his dad. And the three of us figured out a way to go build something really special. We had to work so hard because our skills were low.
Right.
The other individuals' skills were off the charts, but they wouldn't come close to how hard we worked. So you take how hard we worked, using the data to decide how we're going to get better, and we end up winning. And it leads to careers for all of us and hundreds of people that end up being part of that organization over the years. And then it led to eventually me wanting to go start Database to help organizations say, there's a better way. Stop picking your buddies to promote. You're missing out on everybody else, because I would have been that person missed out on. Then over time, my teams, because of how deliberate we were in training and developing them, were able to go and promote. And I started creating, Ryan called it the leadership factory, where just leaders were promoting all these people that were trained and really data-driven mindset, promote. And then they can manage people. And then it became this really big organization. And they put me back into head of sales, and I end up leading sales. Then once you have your goal, now you have that end outcome. So that's that third part of who you are, the end outcome. You have that nailed. Now you need mentors to go and tell you what are the inputs you need to go put in if you don't already know it. So like working out, I'm not a great person for working out. So what do? I have the Transform app. They tell me exactly what to do and how much of it to go do. And so that's the inputs. Then you need the mentor for skills. How do you do if it's lifting those lifts right? Or if it's running? I've got the guy at Database, Nate Richard, he's the VP of sales there. I asked him about running. He went from not running at all and only bodybuilding to now regularly running marathons.
Wow.
And so I can go ask him, like, hey, what do I need to do to improve my skills? Okay, you need these shoes, you need these socks, you need to stand this way. And he gives me those hacks. And so you just go break it down any part of your life. Go find somebody who's already done it. Find your mentor, and that can be a book.
Right.
Find the next hacks to go from an F to a D, or if you're at a D to a C to a B to an A, and work on your skills every day. Every day you wake up, if it's truly your number one goal, you should ask yourself, what today will you be doing better?